Good morning from Eindhoven. Beautiful day today. I am Venelin Dobrev for the Pulsit Media podcast, bringing you one of the most interesting stories around Europe. We are here in the heart of innovation in the high-tech campus, and I'm speaking with a very bright young man, Thijs Meeske. Hello, Thijs.
Hello, Venelin. Thanks for inviting me here.
Well, no, it's a pleasure. We've been doing some work together already, so I know how that you're a very inspiring young person that has a lot to share. But speaking of this, can you tell the listeners basically a little bit about yourself and what you're doing, and also a little bit about the business?
Yeah, definitely. My name is Thijs Meeske, and I work for the company High Sports. We are active sports tech company supporting football clubs, football leagues, associations in improving the quality of their pitches, so the grass, and we do that by using data.
Okay, and what is your role in the business?
I'm responsible for business development, so we have a very small team of 3 people where I take responsibility for the business side. So it's commercial, marketing, also finance. And we also, my colleagues, they work on the technical and the knowledge side.
Okay, that's nice. And you mentioned you help football clubs with their maintaining, let's say, their stadiums and their grass fields. How do you exactly do that? How do you get the data? How do you deliver it to them? How does it look like? Can you explain it in a very simple way?
Yeah, definitely. Maybe good to explain a bit how we started. So we started already over 10 years ago in the Johan Cruyff Arena. It's the home of Ajax and the Dutch national team. And they have a very multifunctional stadium, so they use their stadium besides football also for concerts, for events. And it's very difficult to get the grass back on a good level after such events. So we started there with a project and very pragmatic way, collecting data and then using data to improve the quality. And it's a very good example of how a project can turn into a product and into a company. So 2 years ago, the company High Sports was born from this, and we developed measuring equipment. So we have a device, it's called the Hipster, which measures the quality of the pitch, and based on that data, we can optimize the maintenance.
That's cool. You already mentioned this has been ongoing for 10 years. But then again, just looking at your age, and no offense, you haven't been there at the start. But when did you kind of enter when did you enter the business, and for how long have you been doing the business development?
Yeah, it's a good point. 10 years ago, I was definitely not involved. I started when HI Sports really became a company. So we started from a modern company, Holland Innovative. And when they divided the 2 companies, I joined HI Sports as well, and I started in finance. So my role was getting some funding, subsidy application, and based on that I rolled into my new role, which is business development, 1 year ago.
Okay. But how was the side? Because there is a nice layer to this that it's actually not entirely family-run business, but then of course one of the executives or the executive is your dad.
Yep.
So was it more his invitation to you to join, or maybe you were proactive and you said, well, I want to be part of this, I see its potential, and then I want to contribute with my motivation and expertise?
Yeah, it was a little bit in between. So I was already active in the modern company, was basically my side job, just doing some work there in sales and marketing. And the modern company is indeed owned by my father, also active in HI Sports in an executive role. But basically the idea for me to join came from somebody outside of the family. I was looking into, after my studies, what should I do, maybe an internship. And the company I applied to knew HI Sports as well, and he actually said, why not start there?
Okay.
So that's basically how it happened, and I think you never plan those things to happen, but it's very fun.
No, that's nice. Looking back in the early days, I mean, 2 years later, you already know the business, you've already achieved some things. But then when you started, what was kind of the most confusing and scary thing for you?
Yeah, it's the responsibility you get, and that's in a team of 3 you automatically get responsibility, and it's something very good and it challenges you, but it can also be scary, as you say, yeah, because you don't really have the experience to know exactly what to do right away.
I gave a lecture about 2 months ago. I met with about 80 students around your age, maybe a little bit younger or somewhere a little bit older. But then there was because we talked about what they would do after they leave university or school or whatever, and then there was this pressure on them that, yeah, they had this feeling that immediately when they finish and then they get the diploma, and then they should already have a plan for 10 years 20 years, because of course somebody invested in them for their education, etc. But then I think that's a bit of a big burden. What would you say to someone in such a position? I mean, because it really is scary.
It's very recognizable, and I think it's a big misconception what you mention here. I recognize it very much. People don't know what to do, but they have the pressure to immediately know, I want to become this and I'll have my career figured out. My main piece of advice would be take your time, and also something that I did not do. I kind of rushed through academics. Looking back at it, I would now take more time to do also things on the side and really get to know yourself and what you like to do and what you want to do, because everybody has the same approach or has the same thing, that they don't really know what to do. Even when you are in your job, you still don't know how your career will be figured out.
Yeah, that's true. I can tell you that I know a lot of people in their 40s, 50s who are constantly wondering if they should start something new, and they're doing it. So it's never too late to start.
Exactly.
Something new. It's good to be prepared.
Okay. And it's not wrong to not know what you need to do. Everybody doesn't know what they want to do.
No, that's true. Doesn't matter if you're 18 or 48.
Exactly.
You have similar struggles on a personal development level. Talking about the family business, have you ever had like a bit of a underestimation, because of course you do work with your dad, you work for a company that he is an owner of, and then you're also very young.
Yeah, it happens. So I think it's implied if you do these type of things. I think there's always some type of pressure that you need to fight against, if I'd say it like that. Where I approach it is just by doing things you prove yourself, and I think that's the approach you need to take. But I think that as you say, the attitude towards you, it will always be there, also externally from clients or something like that. Yeah.
No, that's true. Speaking of running the business, when you have disagreements, how do you handle them?
Well, I think definitely on main topics it's the team, so it's not me and my dad who decide. But it's the 4 of us then, so the 3 that we're working with. And I think the ties are very close, so that also helps in solving issues, I guess.
That's cool. You said you were helping on the side, and then you became part of the business. You're proving yourself constantly. I know you're doing a lot of great things and a lot of hard work, also expanding the business internationally. But what is your proudest moment so far? Like, when was the time that you did something, like had a personal achievement related to the business, to your work, and you said, yes, that's it, I made it?
I think one project that stands out for me was being involved at the European Championship under 19 in Romania. This is a project that I led from the start as well, and I think one of the biggest international projects that we've done. So it's in Romania. With the federation, we measured all the pitches during the championship. We could generate very nice reports to the participating teams as well before the matches about the quality of the pitch that they were playing on. It's a nice project. So that was something that I was really happy with, that we could do that and still supporting them right now.
Sounds very nice and great. So I do hope we see you in one of the, well, let's say, more the bigger tournaments like the World Cup and the EU Championship. But another question about work before we shift to another topic. What's something that goes on daily basis that you have to struggle with, for example, that nobody sees, but it's kind of something that you had to overcome and that you feel good about yourself, but you also know that other people, not only young people, can relate?
I think two different questions, but to tackle the first one, something that people don't see, which is basically what we spend a lot of time on, is that it's really a transition. So there's a lot of support in that, and we're supporting people that are known to have their hands in the turf, in the pitch, very practical-minded people, and we need to support them in using data in their daily routine, and it's a very, very big shift. So you also get a lot of resistance there, and some people, they are familiar with data or with technology, and they are very easygoing, but there is also people that, saying it respectfully, have trouble opening their email. So there's just a lot of support ongoing there, and we are very active in that transition, and we think we should be as initiators of this transition. But that's where we also spend a lot of time on supporting them in making this step, because a lot of people see the future and see that it should be data driven, but it's a big step still.
And then saying for the second question, what do you think in your day-to-day is something that's very relatable for young people that you have personally overcome?
In what way do you mean overcome?
Well, basically, you had to get into sales and business development, but then you were first in finance. So was it difficult maybe to make this shift? Was there a part of your just day-to-day that felt the most challenging at the start, but now you kind of already, you feel like you own it,
Yeah, it's something like that, because when I started I was in finance, and then my role grew also to commercial, to marketing as well, and then the world opens and there's so many things that you can and should be doing, but you need to do something first, and that's I think that was a challenge in the start. I think what helped me really well there is by setting priorities. So that's also something that we did together with the team. Just set priorities for the next month. I'll be doing this and that, focusing on these topics, focusing on sales, or focusing on marketing, focusing on the website, and basically structuring your work like that helps you in tackling the big market.
Nice. Okay, sounds good. Let's talk a little bit about the sector you operate in, because you're in this interesting crossroads of where innovation, technology, and sports meet, but also elite sports. I mean, you're working with big clubs and on a high level. What excites you the most about sports innovation right now?
It's a very, very big topic. So I think the market is growing a lot when you look at sports tech. I think similar to other markets, I'm very curious to see what AI will do here as well, because it's the big elephant in the room. And in sports tech, it's taking shape very well. I'm very excited how football matches, football experience will be in the future with AI, because I think it will be so much different and so much more personalized. So very curious to see how it will develop.
How do you think young people such as yourself working in, well, not only the sports industry but also in the technology industry are shaping this transition to more technological? Because sports can be a nice test ground for a lot of pilot technologies, but that wasn't the case. I mean, we've known that from many stories, like in movies, it was very conservative topic. But how do you see this young flow of innovation and motivation just modernizing the sector?
Yeah, I think they play an essential role. So you mentioned traditional conservative way of thinking, and I think sports can also be very conservative, especially football. If you see how difficult it was to introduce a VAR, video referee, then it can be very conservative. So I think young people play a crucial role in there because they're familiar with technology, but they're also the target group, so they will be the ones performing and watching the sports in the future. So we should definitely have them play a crucial role in applying these new technologies.
Nice. And then maybe one question that is also translates a bit. Your work inspires you. That I think there is no question about that. But does it help you when things get difficult to stay motivated? To know, I'm doing something that is contributing to a change in the whole sport or industry, because of course could not be only limited to football. You have a lot of other sports with that who use natural grass pitches. But would you say that's also the case? Like it's one of the things that when things get difficult, it motivates you to be curious, to chase for solutions.
Yeah, I think it's definitely like that. So you have the feeling that you really contribute, and also because it's very new, there's also a lot of impact you can make. And you talk about elite sports, but also recreational sports, and it's also something we are developing on the side. So not only support the big football clubs, but also look at municipalities and the way they are maintaining the everyday amateur club sports pitch, and maybe there's even more impact that you can make there. So that impact is definitely something that motivates you.
That's great. I have a couple of questions related to the team, because you mentioned the team, and then what would you say is kind of the biggest benefit of working in a small team that you really feel very close together, maybe even like friends?
Yeah, definitely, and the communication, it's very close, so that helps a lot. So being in a small team, what also helps that you can make decisions very quickly. So that supports us a lot, and I think what you need for a small team is also to have a lot of trust, and we definitely do have that. So everybody works in their own field and has their own part that they focus on, and of course you communicate a lot when you have challenges or questions in that field, but you also need to trust each other.
That's true. And then mentioning trust, can you maybe share a good moment with the team that when you maybe had a big achievement, how you celebrated, how what motivates you and just keeps this nice team dynamic going?
Yeah, it's like that. So achievements you need to celebrate, and maybe a good example was a great event we did in Basel in Switzerland, where we went together with the whole team. And then it's also not only about doing the event, but also about having fun with each other. So having dinner, playing pool, and that's also just fun things to do. And it supports in the dynamic as well. And then it's very friendly and low level.
Yeah, that's true. It's always nice to have these moments of togetherness, just outside of the work.
It's very important.
Yeah. Then maybe a bit of a broader question: how do you balance the long-term vision of where you want to be in 5 years, 10 years, with the day-to-day challenges that you face? Because you're in a startup at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And then things don't go always according to plan.
No, they never do. So they always it always takes more time and more money to develop something. But yeah, it's as you say, it's a balance. So of course to pay the day-to-day bills, that's essential. So that should always be there. But being in a startup, you as a person should also be ambitious and think of the bigger plan. And for us, it means probably if we go work at a bigger company, we could get a higher salary. But you need to be ambitious and think of the long-term vision, and that's why we're here. And you need to have that kind of mindset to be in a startup, I think.
And then I have two questions. The first would be about the long-term vision.
Yeah.
Because we mentioned that, but what is the long-term vision for high sports and for you personally?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for us, long-term vision is we're developing further in top sports, professional sports, but mainly also making the shift to recreational. So that's what we're really focusing on also in the upcoming years, is moving away also from the professional clubs, but also more towards recreational sports where we support the municipalities, and there's a lot of impact you can make there. It's a very different question where professional sports like to have a perfect pitch, recreational likes to have a healthy pitch with a lot of playing time throughout all seasons. But they're also in the way that they're doing the maintenance right now, there's a lot of impact you can make also on sustainability and in terms of costs. So we'll never stop with professional sports, but we'll definitely focus more on recreational sports.
Nice. And you touched upon a topic that I wanted to talk about later, but I will just shoot the question right now about it. You talked about the corporate and being a part of maybe some established company like Philips or ISML that are kind of the powerhouses here, but then it would be taking a bit away your freedom. Is freedom important to you in your work?
It's freedom, and it's also responsibility for me. So that's, I think, for me the main reason that I like working at a small company. Freedom that I can do what I want, but also responsibility so that what you do really matters. I don't say that it doesn't matter what you do when you work at ASML or Philips, but for me I get the feeling that I contribute less than working in a very small company.
And talking about responsibility, do you feel that there is a pressure that comes from being in such an important part of a small team that's developing and but also being very ambitious?
Yeah, there's definitely brings also pressure, but you need to deal with that in your own way. And I think for me just focus on what you're doing and align that with the team and together you do it, so you don't do it by yourself. That helps.
What are the things you do outside of the office, outside of work, that help you, relieve stress, keep on track, and then have this clarity, this mental clarity to keep you focused and motivated when you're chasing your goals?
Yeah, it's I think very similar to everybody my age. Just when you're going home, just switch off and do fun things. So it can be with your friends or family, just having fun and not think about work. It's very, very important to do that.
That's thank you. That's a very common actually feedback that I get. So but that's like for everyone. But then, speaking of things, we talked about what you've done, what you're doing now. And of course we talked about the big goal of the company, but let's talk about you. What is the next big thing you want to learn as a professional and as a person, like to improve yourself in?
I think for me, main things that I like to learn right now is also on the AI topic, how to include that in my day-to-day, and it's something that the mother company Holland Innovative is it's very much an expertise of them, and I'm also following some trainings there, and it's just how to make your work more automated, and also leaving room for yourself to be more on the creative part instead of the operational part. And it's something that it's a very big world on how to apply this and how to do this. But it's something that I'm very interested in, and also to do myself as well.
Okay, sounds very nice and very interesting. Maybe final line of questions. You're a young professional, but you already have a lot to share. What would be the single piece of advice that you want to tell everyone who is listening that you never got yourself, but it's very, very important?
Yeah, it's a good one. I think something that I see a lot as well from my experience, but also with others, is that it's very difficult to say no. And it's something that would have helped me if I had heard that earlier, that it's also good to say no. And I think you like to do everything. And that is for a lot of people, they want to do everything and every project that you get is like, okay, we'll do it and we'll do it this way. But sometimes it's also good to say no and focus on your priorities and say, no, I don't have time for this.
That's good. And then that was the piece of good advice. What was the piece of bad advice that you heard and you think that everyone should avoid?
I think you mentioned it earlier. The thing is go quickly through college, start working, and have your whole plan figured out. It's some advice that people get. For me, it doesn't make sense. So it's completely okay to take your time, do things on the side, grow yourself as a person as well, and get to know yourself, and then maybe think about, okay, what I'm going to do. There's no need to rush. You can work until you're 80.
That is true, and maybe with some new technology even a bit further than that.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay. Before we wrap up, we will do some practical questions, because you talk a lot about technology, but can you maybe give us a few very practical tools that you're using yourself in your day-to-day related to AI, for example?
Yeah. So the main one is ChatGPT. I use it every day, but I think it's familiar. I think for research topic, we also use a lot of Perplexity, and I like it a lot. I think you know it as well. It's a great topic, great tool in terms of doing research, finding sources, really diving deep in some topics. Thinking. And next to that, Notebook LM is something that helped me in studies as well, to create podcasts or quizzes from text material. It's also a very great tool.
Nice. And then maybe on the side of the business, what is the best business advice you heard this year?
Oof, that's a difficult one. Best business advice.
Yeah, but not like something that you just, read somewhere or somebody told you, but something you also use or have used in developing the business.
Yeah, I think what helped me most this year, but I've already mentioned it, and it's really setting priorities, and based on that, fill your calendar. Because if you don't do that, then you try to do everything, but you do everything for like 15%. So then you also get chaotic in your head because you got so many things going on, but you never finish anything. So it would be for me, set your goals, set your priorities, and finish it, and then move on to another thing.
And last question for today, but I think we already know the answer, but still, what do you think is the single most valuable skill a person can learn today? Not just young people. I mean, any person out there who's listening, who is working on something, or they have a career 9 to 5, or they have a side hustle, or they are running a small or a medium business. Like, what's the one skill that they should know?
Yeah, I think the main skill should be to be proactive as well. So think of ways that you improve the way you work, also what you do, and really take the lead in that. Thinking about that, decide for yourself how would I like to do my work, what can I improve in, and really take the lead in your own development. I think being proactive is a very big skill that you should develop.
No, that's true. It's the biggest skill. But from the technical perspective, would you say it would be something about related to AI and how AI could?
I think that's also the advice I think most companies right now get. See for yourself how you should use it, because if you don't use it, your competitor will, and they will outcompete you. So there's no question that it will be the future, and you really need to have your mindset there to see how can I adopt this and how can I make it work for me.
Perfect. Thank you. That was for today. I'm Venelin Dobrev for Pulse Z Media Podcast. Key takeaways: be proactive, learn how to use AI and technology to your advantage, because the people you're competing with, they might already be doing that. But also, don't worry if your path forward is not clear. Nobody has the perfect answer and the perfect plan. stay with Pulsi, listen to our podcast, read the articles, be inspired, and do good things. Thank you.